Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 of the Chicago White Sox. Before I begin today, an error of mine. I did not record a video for this past Monday. Don't know why I forgot, but I didn't. So, apologies for that. But here we are. We're going to go ahead and get some White Sox action recorded today, and then I promise you'll have the normal Rockies upload will be on Monday. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. And again, I do apologize that it just completely slipped my mind. Just utterly slipped my mind. On last White Sox video, we had a couple of comments. First, we have Insight World 422 who said, maybe Murguia plays left field. Let's look at that right now. It's possible. I think there's a world in which he could maybe not embarrass himself at left field, but then we're probably just creating a new Danny Rios situation where an overmatched outfielder is not in a good position to make the most out of his skills. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm saying I don't know. I don't know. Brian Garrett says, what if we traded one of the infielders for a good outfielder? Easier said than done, but I like what you're thinking. I think that's probably the best long-term solution is to pick one of his infielders, say goodbye to them, and add an outfielder. My problem is this. I don't know who I would trade. Probably Marco Ramirez, but I don't think it's an obvious decision. I don't think it's a trivial decision. I would say Ramirez just because I think he's fine, but he's not as good at anything as, say, Carlos Geronimo is, or Herb Berry, or Ambrose Chilo, all of whom are just better than he is. I'm not saying this to question or challenge Mark Ramirez. I'm just saying that's what we're looking at here. So flipping Ramirez for a quality outfielder does seem like something we could consider. We could do it with Marrero instead. I mean, Marrero has had, 3 seasons, more or less, to show that he can handle the major leagues, and he clearly can't. It's not unreasonable to keep Ramirez and trade Marrero. Marrero's also got a higher potential rating, which means somebody's going to think he's worth more. How much money do we have to spend? We have loads of money. So let's check free agency first. And then after that, we can maybe make some decisions. So let's check our front office staff now. Need a new AA pitching coach. Kyle Godfrey would be a pretty great choice. I think we're just going to promote him and not worry about it. AJ Alexi is outstanding. Tyson Sang is not nearly as good. Solution, Alexi gets promoted. We get a new rookie league pitching coach. I mean, Matt Given would be pretty much perfect, so let's try it. Maybe we don't get it, but we can at least ask the question, right? All right. John Burns, let's get you working on your... Just about anything would work for you. You're so young that pretty much anything you work on is going to be beneficial. Jason Harrison, throw strikes. I think Terry Maton is probably never going to get better at throwing strikes than he is right now, but we can try it. It's not impossible, it's just not very likely. Edwin Peralta, I need you to make consistent contact if you're going to be a starting caliber outfielder. That's exactly what we're going to focus on here. Quality of contact. Sergio De Leon, I think movement is most important for you. I think the rest will come quite naturally for you. Let's work on your movement. Let's look at some hitters now. Let's find some position players that need some love. Because I do want us to get some more outstanding hitters, and that means investing in them. Mr. Jerkovsky here, I think could benefit from just about anything being added to his toolbox. Let's have you work on your quality of contact, I think. I think that's solid. Giovanni Mazzafiato, I think, is very, very competent, very capable. He really needs to work on his... I guess we just do contact for everybody. Like, it's not a bad thing to work on. And Alejandro Hernandez, let's work on your batting eye. Let's try this more regressive strategy and see if that actually achieves anything for us here. There it is. Working on things that are harder to accomplish in hopes of getting more meaningful improvement if they do accomplish it. Nick Hannon wants more money than I'm prepared to give him. He was fine, but I just don't see any value in paying him a good bit of money. I just don't think it's very practical. Nick Ambrose wants $7 million a year. That is probably the top end of what he's actually worth. I don't think he's worth a penny more than that. I think he's fine for what he is, but I think giving him a long-term contract would be detrimental to our long-term approach as a team. So I'm going to give you, out of the kindness of my heart, $7 million. What a guy I know. Ruben Blanco has not been very impressive. I want to make some room to add in more veteran leadership and or effective relievers, so we're going to go ahead and non-tender him. I feel like Eduardo Reyes is just doomed to obsolescence, so I think we're going to non-tender him too. Terry Maton, we get to keep. I think that's very practical. And then I think we just trade Brian Binner for whatever we can get. I mean, the man has shown us very little that he's capable of being a starting outfielder. And I think it's largely because his ability to hit for average has never kicked in. And so I think we trade him. Almost for anything we can get our hands on. I will start by asking for a better outfielder if we take on some salary, but that's not all I'm willing to accept. John Squires is manifestly uninteresting, especially given how expensive he is. John Sandberg is okay, but not exciting. Sandro Todaldo is whatever. Takumasa Clunon is a hard no from me. Will Wojciechowski is just not... Yeah, these are not great players here. If I just asked for any prospect of any caliber, what could I get for him? I mean, I'm not being picky here. I will take literally any interesting prospect for Brian Bittner because he just has nothing to offer us. Felipe Torres, you're in. Welcome to the team. I just have no desire whatsoever to entertain Brian Bittner's delusions of grandeur for a second longer. Is anybody going to want Eduardo Reyes? Probably not. I guess I should have marked him as a former Sox. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to release both of them just to get the 40-man slots open. Because I'm not going to keep either one of them. And this gives us some more opportunities to give some pitchers some opportunities to truly possibly excel. So we're going to say goodbye to Ruben Blanco. And we're going to say goodbye I don't know the fans were so jazzed about Ruben Blanco. They're like, damn, we like that guy. You should try pitching better then. And then Eduardo Reyes can also say goodbye. Wow. The fans are like, fuck you, buddy. We love those guys. Well, they should try playing baseball better, and then I wouldn't have had to get rid of them. They bring nothing to the club. So, how's about you just fucking trust me and stop complaining, okay? We do need to fill those spots with somebody, and I don't know who that person's going to be, whether it's Modelfi Alcala, whether it's somebody we pick up in the draft next season, but we're going to have to fill some spots. Felipe Torres isn't doomed. He's reasonable. Alex Alvarado, I think, needs to be given a chance. So, a lot of possibilities here for who picks up for them. Travis Harlander seems a little bit too good to let go. Greg Jones is a reasonable pick. David Ochoa is fine. I mean, these are all guys that have some pretty obvious flaws, so if I don't keep them, I'm not that bothered by it. And maybe we're better off keeping somebody a bit more useful. I don't know. Maybe we'll just sit tight and see how things work out for us. Hand out some minor league extensions would be good. And yeah, this I expect to be a big free agent year. I want to be really active in the free agent market because I think we need a few things for this team to be successful. First and foremost, we need more help in the bullpen. And we also need I'd love an outfielder. I'd love a reliable veteran outfielder to help take some of the pressure off of these young guys, some of whom might have a great career and some of whom might not. Shout out to Josh Cox's pretty solid rookie season. He's going to get a chance to repeat that. There is, of course, the option mentioned before, which is trade an infielder, get an outfielder. If I package Morero and Ramirez, can I get what I seek? If I'm trading two very good infield prospects, I want somebody of high quality. I will look at the price tag very carefully, but I'm expecting someone very, very good. Jordan Espinosa is pretty solid. I think he's quite good. I'm going to see if we can do better, but I like where their head's at. Okay, Abel Zarn is really, really good. I'm not saying he's perfect, but there's a lot to like about him. I will very much be considering him as my acquisition. Mike Alexander is not terribly thrilling. Jaden Wilson is good, but there's a reason he keeps bouncing from team to team, and it's the fact that he's not consistent. He's not consistently producing at a high level. It makes it difficult to trust him. Is there any way it isn't Zarn? Like, look, there's a couple of things here to be concerned about. Number one of which is his price is going up quite substantially. But he's produced now for 3 consecutive years. He should have a better on base percentage than he does. This kind of floors me. But he's got decent pop. And he's got a pretty good batting average. I think he's somebody that we could really trust to be a premium outfielder for us. Let's try it, guys. Let's try Abel Zarn. Now, what if I only gave you one of these two guys? What if I only gave you, say, Marrera or Ramirez? This price is absolutely not too steep, but let's see if we can get them to, say, I don't know, pay a salary. This price is not too steep. I know people like Marco Ramirez. Would they do it for Marrero, actually? Does Marrero move the needle? Okay, so we like Ramirez, we don't like Marrero. Okay, so Ramirez gets it done. Marrero doesn't. I think we just do it for Marrero then. I know you think the price is too steep. I'm going to try to get them to add some other players in here. But I think this may be the best we can do. Macario Mobs? What a name. Yeah, you're not going to give me what I really need for this to look equal in the eyes of my general manager. And I think that's fine. I just don't think we're likely to get very much more than what we've already got. Oh, I wonder if you can help me fix my bullpen problem. That would be something I'd be interested in adding. How about Brian Niels? Is everybody like Michael Wolk? He's a good player, but... Okay, this is the kind of deal that I wouldn't normally make. But I think this is the exact kind of deal that we should make. Where we trade in some prospects to finally add contributors right now. Brian Nels is a fantastic addition to this bullpen. Abel Zarn solidifies the outfield. And all at a very reasonable price. I just think this is the correct decision. And even if it ends up hurting that we lose, say, Michael Wolk, I don't think it will. Or losing Marco Ramirez, again, I don't think it will. I still think what we're getting in return is more than valuable. I want to see if I can get you to eat. No, 10% is the most you'll take. Done. Just like that, we've added a preeminent closer, a very high-quality outfielder, and just improved the team from top to bottom. This is already a better team, and we're not done yet. And that's very exciting to me. Very, very exciting. This means Peralta can keep developing in AAA, with the hopes of maybe taking over right. We have Victor Villarreal to help us out. Our outfield went from a weakness to a strength. I'd love to get a veteran starting pitcher, though. Not so much in case Alvarado fails, although he very well might. But in case one of the others also fails. So I'd like to get one veteran starter. I'm going to keep Marrero. There is a future where Marrero improves a little bit in AAA and is competing for a job next year. But even if he doesn't, that's fine. I'm hype. I'm reasonably hype for the additions we just made. I think a good starting pitcher would be very, very welcome right now. Not that I'm saying the guys I have now are chopped liver, because they're not, but because I think we could get even better. We could get even better. Let's advance to free agency. I will give you 200 grand because I think you're that good at pitching coach. I'm not going to dick around with you. I've been playing a lot of XCOM recently. I finished the game several times before, but now I'm getting a chance to try it again after a long time, and I'm very excited about that. So, a game we could conceivably play on the channel, perhaps, if that interests people. Corey Hilton is not good enough. He's not a good enough pitcher to be traded for Hardlander. Has Given already taken a deal with somebody else he might have done? Yeah, he did. I'd rather take Fleming over Frias just because Fleming has the excellent or outstanding mechanical ability. I think that's much more useful to me. Justin Rice, to the shock of literally 0 human beings, easily passes through waivers. This is the league where we have the 27-man roster now, right? Yeah. A gold glove for Edwin Hernandez. Very nice. Andrew Picard got a gold glove. Amazing. Truly excellent. Jose Garzon won reliever of the year. That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Yeah. How did Cox fare in the Rookie of the Year balloting? I'm just curious. I had no expectations that he would win. Nobody thought he was going to win, but maybe it'll be interesting to see how close he got. He didn't even make the top 4. Disgusting. Not unexpected, but disgusting. I thought he had a very good year. Yeah. Free agency's a thing. I have not heard back from my coach that I offered. Just wouldn't even fucking talk to me. Just like go to hell. And now I'm stuck with bad coaches. That's rude. That's extremely rude, game. He didn't even tell me that he wanted more money. He just noped out. He's like, no, fuck you. How rude. How incredibly rude. Really? You're getting better offers? I swear to God, man. I'm getting hornswoggled by somebody who's not actually worth it. Disgusting. At least we did it. At least we did it. I guess that's all we can, expect. Good year for starting pitching, potentially, question mark? I am not spending $29 million on a fucking reliever. That's ridiculous. Truly absurd. Ah, what the fuck just happened? Okay. Steve Damewood is not worth the amount of money he's commanding. I agree that he's an exceptional pitcher, but he's coming off of a season in which he was injured. I think this is the exact wrong time to bid on somebody like that. Jonathan Romero's in even worse shape. Wait, I was looking at Liam McCrory. Oh no. Yeah, we definitely want Kuniyasu Sato, potentially. I think if we could add him for a short-term deal, I think Sato's the exact kind of pitcher that I'd like to add to the club. I would love, for me, let's say a 4-year deal with 2 team options. A team option and a player option, that's fine. How does that grab you? You like it? Beautiful. We can also quickly grab Paul Blackstone here, because he's free. I feel like with Steve Birdsey, we're betting that he'll finally be healthy for the first time ever. For that kind of price, I want a 3-year deal with 2 team options. That's my minimum, right? That's the minimum that I'm willing to accept. And let's see what this does for us here. So, some nice offers here, mostly short term, which is what we want. We don't want to commit to somebody long term until they've proven to be worthy of it. Where else could we upgrade? Who else struggled last season? Really left field and right field, but we've already got a new right fielder in Villarreal. And I think with Villarreal on board, I think we've got ourselves a pretty potent outfield. Plus, he's the nicest prospect in Major League Baseball. Yeah. I really hope Zarn isn't a bust. I don't think he will be, but it is something we're going to want to monitor pretty closely to make sure we get the most out of him. Our chemistry is good, right? People are pretty chill. Yeah, people are happy. I mean, Jeff Allen would have a very inside track on the starting rotation in a world in which he was a bit healthy. You don't have a proper leader. That's a bit disappointing. But not unreasonable. Like, this is not the end of our bullpen additions either. I think maybe a veteran reliever could go quite nicely. What do we got reliever-wise? We've got to go fuck yourself and Corbin Peltz, that's for sure. We can offer Mr. Gutierrez here a contract. I see no reason why we can't. Rafael De Loza. Well, 1.6 million? Fine. It's Raul Barrera. My boy thinks he's worth $25 million a year. He is beyond delusional. I mean, I understand I'm probably just not valuing closers the way other people do, but it seems pretty absurd. It's old friend Mark Ward. We could bring him back, maybe. I mean, as lefties go, he's pretty talented, and he's even from Chicago. Everything that convinced you to acquire him a couple years ago, like, there's a world in which we bring him back and he has a nice season. Oh, there's also John Crank. Actually, I'm really interested in a reunion with John Crank. Because John Crank was an incredibly durable reliever for us, and it looks like he hasn't really lost much. Let's crank it up and get John Crank back. And we'll do a 1-year deal for him. There we go. Fine. As you like, game. David Chi. I'm not opposed to it, but I think my free agents are better. I think they're significantly better. If I sign one or both free agents, I think we're in much better shape. Ruben Rodriguez is fine, but not great. People signing 1-year deals. I can now cast my ballot for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame class. Fernando Cruz seems like a good egg. We can sign him. Julio Rodriguez, I think, deserved to be in a while ago. Adrian Santana we can vote for. James Wood we can vote for. Like, this is a very underwhelming class, right? Very few people are obviously worthy of enshrinement. And I'm really voting for people just for the sake of voting for them, not so much because I believe they genuinely deserve it, but because I think somebody deserves to go into the Hall of Fame, and it might as well be one of these guys. Ben Brown is legit. We can vote for Ben Brown. I'm on board with that. And we'll just stop there. If I were to hazard a guess, IRL, I think we might see Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones make the Hall of Fame in addition to Jeff Kent already having made it. Not a guarantee, obviously. There's a lot of things that could happen between now and then, but I think that's the way the winds are blowing. All right. You want more Monet. As long as I get the team option, I don't mind paying you more money. You don't want to give me the team option. That's kind of what I thought you were going after here. I kind of thought that might happen. If that's the case, 3 years, no option. 2 years player option. He will take less money for more years. That's good to know. If you'll take less money in the last 2 years, I think this is a deal. No. Man. This is fine. Like, I'm willing to accept this offer because I genuinely think Sato offers us a very significant upgrade. And we're still getting him for a reasonably good value because we're getting less than he thinks he's worth. Oscar Gutierrez. I will give you a $1 million signing bonus. Let's see the Cubs match that. I feel pretty good about what we've already done to improve this team. I think we've solved the outfield, sort of. I'm not saying he's the perfect player, but I'm saying he's pretty good and reasonably affordable, too. And that's a great combination, right? That's an ideal combination. Would give me Min Jun Kim for Nakamoto and Sam Friels. No thanks. Uninterested. Oh, apparently John Crank is a dick. I forgot about that. We did get Birdsey. Oh no, anyway. John Bond. Let's get you off the 40 min so I can make room for Sato. Hey, Terry Maton is excited about getting better at throwing strikes. That makes me pretty happy. John Bond made it through waivers to the surprise of exactly 0 people. I think What's-His-Face is still thinking about it, right? I haven't heard that he's not. Okay, telling you this right now, if Mike McCaskill is still around by the time I get to pick, I'm taking him. That is quite possibly the easiest decision I've ever made in a Rule 5 draft. He's just that good. We could do Rafael Loza, but he's already my player. I could just add him to the 40 man if I wanted to keep him. I think I'm just gonna auto complete the draft. I got what I wanted. I got a high value starting pitching prospect, which is pretty exciting. And we got Sato. And so I think we've added a ton of veteran depth in the rotation. And I think it's going to benefit us tremendously. Very tremendously. Rich Gunn, thank you for your service as a sock of whiteness. I don't like how Birdsy's already gotten worse. Thus casting doubt on whether I paid him the correct amount of money, but we're barely paying him at all, so it doesn't hurt me at all. Oh no, the people love them some Rich Gunn. They're like, damn. What a bargain. Go off, bro. Whatever makes you happy, whatever gives you joy. This is a very eventful offseason. I think you've really made a genuine effort to improve the team. Definitely. 100%. You would give me the Paul McDonald? As relief prospects go, he's not bad. But I mean, he's basically Ryan Austin, and you want somebody else on top of it. I don't think this makes sense to me. I think I'd politely but firmly decline. Oh, Chris Hernandez found himself a new team? Yeah. I wish you both the Dodgers, my friend. You actually ended up having an okay season, but you weren't worth the 10 million, so oof. Sorry, Dong Moon on. Nobody wanted you. You were unwanted. Happens to the best of us. Man, I cannot get over the fact that I forgot to give you guys a Monday video. That's wild. Enrique Castillo's in Toronto now? Cool. Let's see how that goes. I was talking to some friends on Discord a few days ago, and my levels are super loud, so I dropped the levels a little bit. So let me know if that's any better. I'll be honest with you guys. I probably just need to buy a new microphone. I've had this microphone since I started the channel, and I just keep not buying a new microphone. But I guess at some point I have to. It was just another microphone of the exact same type because I really like my microphone, but I think it's old, like me. Like me. There are some high caliber players in here, but not very many of them are like automatically brilliant. Manny Guzman is, I think, the one exception here. I know he's a terrible second baseman, like no one's disputing the fact that he should not be trusted at second base, but he does have a really well-rounded offensive. No, he doesn't. We do like Manny Guzman. I should like him quite a lot. This does concern me, right? Like, this is not guaranteed, but he's a really good third baseman. And I think Guzman is a good choice. I don't think he's the best choice yet, but he's the choice that I'm looking at right now. Sergio Perez is a very decent first base prospect. I quite like him, actually. Enrique Sanchez, someone I could get excited about. This, I think, pushes it over the top for me. The fact he's got all these personality traits, but he's also a very accomplished hitter with lots of upside. And he's not a terrible outfielder either. Yeah, I think he's my man. Enrique, would you like to be a White Sox? You know the answer is yes. But I'm gonna pretend that you might consider coming somewhere else. Now, someone else can offer you more money, and I can't compete with that, unfortunately. But I'm hopeful that you'll be like, fuck yeah. What a guy. This season feels a bit like I just spent a lot of money to basically import a championship. I'm not complaining about that because I think it's what you ought to be doing, but it is something I acknowledge. A lot of resources were spent this offseason, and I don't know how they're going to turn out, but it was not cheap. Enrique Sanchez, welcome to incoming prospect Sox. Yeah. Neat. Alright, so 3 training opportunities have to go out, right? But to whom? To whom, I ask you? We could do Jones and Ochoa, but honestly, nobody here other than Loza really strikes me as, yes, this is the kind of guy you have to give some opportunities to. I just don't see that in here. I'm not super married to my catching core, so I think giving Sean Kelly... No, that's stupid. I'm stupid. Can you set up my minor league system, please? Thank you. Very appreciated. I suppose we can give Jones and Ochoa some reps. I don't think that's a foolish decision. I'm just not seeing a lot of upside in some of the guys in AAA right now. So yeah. Jeff Allen will be back in 1 to 2 weeks, so that's a decision we can make for ourselves when that happens. 6-man rotation. What do we got here? Gonzalez, Sato. So Picar is the odd man out. I think that makes sense to me. I think that's quite reasonable. Linoops. Oh, wait, can I fix this yet? No. I think you have to do it in the preseason. I keep forgetting about it. But it is obnoxious, but it's whatever. I will somehow return. For the purposes of spring training, I don't mind Carlos Geronimo playing shortstop, but my intention is to move Madrid back to shortstop as soon as spring training is over with. I think it makes us a better team to have a better glove at shortstop. Terry Matan, you son of a bitch, you improved your control. Peralta got worse. That's not great. That's not a good thing at all. That's not good news at all. I'm not saying print your 2046 Chicago White Sox World Series tickets, especially with Herb Berry being injured. If Herb Berry has a career-ending injury the season after I traded Marco Ramirez, I'll have deserved it. But I still think we got very good value for Marco Ramirez. You are injured for 1 week. Great. Some nice improvements lower in the minors here, which is pretty good. It's pretty okay. It's pretty acceptable. I'm going to simulate up until St. Patrick's Day. Could enjoy a refreshing Guinness. I understand that the team is 5-12 in spring training. That means nothing to me. Not even a little bit to me. Get some simming in. All right. All this is fine. Not Faure. All right, guys. I need to step away for a minute. When I get back, we will set our opening day rosters. All right. Let's set up our team for the 2046 season. We have 22 players. I would love to have 13 pitchers. So that means 9 pitchers have to go. We're going to start with Alvarado. Then Edmonds. Then Gorenflo. Then Harrison. Then Losa. Then Ponce. 3 more pitchers still have to go. Alcala. I like Jeff Allen quite a bit, actually. I think he's got the makings of being a good starter. But he barely pitched last year, and so I think letting him start in AAA is a reasonable decision. One more pitcher has to go, or we run with 14. It's not the worst idea to run with 14, right? Like, that's not an impossible idea. Hmm. We could try to send down Ambrosio, but Ambrosio can actually refuse to be sent down. I doubt anybody's going to want Picar if we decided to trade him. I'm not convinced that I do want to trade him. Picar might accept a demotion if I asked. Birdsey definitely won't. So the question is, do I run 14 pitchers or do I demote Tanner Lee? Well, I could just return McCaskill, right? Like, that's an option available to me. I could just return McCaskill back to the Astros. I think that's probably the best decision available to me. So we're going to do that. No, I said McCaskill. Alright, so here's my opening day pitching staff. We're only going to run 5-man rotation. Between Picar and Ambrosio, if I'm going to start one as a fifth starter, it's probably going to be Picar. Like, Ambrosio's best hasn't been as good as Picar's best, so I think this makes more sense to me. Making you the emergency starter, long reliever. Brian Neal's being a closer is perfect. John Crank being my lefty killer is brilliant. Yeah. This is a really good team. This is a really good pitching staff. When a guy's good as Sato can be added to your roster and he's the number 2 starter, you know you've done something very right. Yeah, this is a perfect pitching staff, no notes. Position players. I've got to send 9 people back to the minor leagues. Gabe Arsenault is an easy choice. Magnuson can go. Hugo Gonzalez can go. Danny Ramirez can go. Greg Jones can go. Ochoa can go. Marrero, I think, can go. I think letting Marrero stick at AAA for one more season might actually have some small chance at unlocking his potential. He's an okay utility guy as he is, but I plan to give that job to Chilo. I plan for Chilo to be the primary utility guy. So that, or Carlos Geronimo could be the primary utility guy. Either way, it's not going to be him. Demoted. I like very much having Murguia on the roster to offer me an interesting offensive component. And I've got way too many outfielders anyway. Edwin Peralta barely played in AAA. Edwin Peralta will easily go back to the minors and have a great season. No question. One more player's got to go. I don't think that player's going to be Raul Ramirez, who's actually not a very good center fielder. Ryan Grammer is a better center fielder than he is, so I think this makes the most sense to me. 27 players. Sam Friels gets to make the roster, despite never having played above A ball. I don't think that's a problem for me, though. He's clearly dominated an A ball, and if he got stuck, it's probably the game being silly. Yeah. Now let's set the opening day rosters, which I will set immediately. Batting ratings, if you please. It really did break the chart dealies. That's incredibly annoying. I want to know everything here, and I do mean everything. I'm going to save this as the global view. I think it's happened to me once before, too, that I lost all of my global views, and I don't remember how I fixed it. Regardless. Alright. The best choice to be the leadoff hitter is Herb Berry. He just is. Danny Rios is not somebody I would not consider to be a leadoff guy either, though. Especially as he's lost a little bit of his power, though. I still think we keep him fairly high in the lineup. So I think we do Berry, then Rios. I know Rios is strikeout prone, but it's never let him get away from him. And he has been a very good base stealer, a very good power guy. I think letting him at second is pretty reasonable. Then hitting third is Edwin Hernandez. This begs the question, who hits cleanup? It's not an easy question to answer because we've only got a few plus power guys left. James Harrington is one, but all he is power. I don't necessarily trust him to be a consistent performer. It could be Abel Zarn, although his top flight power isn't as good as Rios's, actually. No, here's the play. Zarn hits second, Rios hits cleanup. That's the choice. That's the solution to the problem. I want Villarreal to hit sixth. I think that's his best position here. So once somebody hit fifth, it might actually be Carlos Geronimo. Even though Madrid is a much better defender and was a positive performer last year, I can't leave Geronimo out, which means I either leave Chilo out or I leave Madrid out. And I think I leave Chilo out. So Geronimo's going to bat fifth and play second base. Center field will be Josh Cox once again. James Harrington will catch, and Alex Madrid will hit ninth. This is your opening day lineup. We are letting Chilo play a little bit too much for my tastes. Same with Nakamoto, but other than that, I think this is pretty good. Murguia is in his ideal spot as a super sub, and we can move him along later. Now this lineup becomes very, very interesting because I can't have a designated hitter. So I think that means Villarreal is going to sit. And then Zarn plays right. I know he's not a great right fielder, but I'm sure he can handle it for a handful of games this season. Oh, and then let me go ahead and copy this depth chart. I know I'm not really optimizing for platoon advantage. I don't think that's a problem for me. I don't think that's a problem for me. All right. I guess we should do this to see if we can get Villarreal into the lineup occasionally. This is fine. Rios is too important to the team's offensive identity right now to just casually let him get replaced every 3 games. I mean, I do want to find ways to get Rios a break every now and again, but I don't think this is how to do it, necessarily. Alright. So that, I think, settles the opening day lineup and the opening day team. A lot is expected of Abel Zarn. He has been a premium performer every season he's been in the major leagues, especially the last 3. I see every possibility that he can continue that successful track record. He needs to get on base, grab the ball enough, hit for contact, play good defense, and steal bases. He needs to just be his normal self. But he's not alone. He's got great players behind him and ahead of him to help him to really thrive. And he needs to thrive. A lot is being asked of him, and a lot had better be delivered. Because the world in which he falls short is a world in which you probably miss the postseason. That's just how it is. That's just what we're looking at with this particular situation. We've got a lot of young, hungry players looking for opportunity, guys who want a bigger role than they had last year, like Victor Villarreal, a full year of Alex Madrid. Carlos Geronimo has the same kind of position that he had his first season. Veterans like Rios and Barry continue to practice their craft. There's a lot to like about this team's lineup, but I think our strength is going to be our pitching staff. I think our pitching staff is genuinely something special. When you can add a pitcher the caliber of Kuniyasu Sato, and he's not even your ace, that tells you you've done a great job. I'm not saying it's a flawless team by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying lots of things can't go wrong. But I think we are a significantly better team than we were last season. And we weren't a bad team last year by any stretch. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I think there's every possibility that this team can get out there, play extremely well, and we can have a good time. No top 10 prospects, sad. But I'm still the number 4 because Alvarado's sitting there at 12. And I think we're also very well situated to soak most injuries. If most people on this team get hurt, we have a ready replacement or somebody almost as good. And I think that's a key valuable piece that we haven't had recently. I do wonder if we're going to regret losing Marco Ramirez. I have Danny Ramirez, who's reasonably competent. I have Jose Morero, who's reasonably competent. But I think Marco Ramirez is better than either one of them. But I needed an outfielder that I could trust. That was utterly essential. And I think we got that. In Mr. Zorn. Now, if Zorn flashes out, if he's not as good as we think he can be, this deal looks like a whole lot worse. Whole lot worse. Sam Friels. We have no actual leader. It's a little disheartening. But okay. That's going to do it for this episode. Not a very long one, but I think a very eventful one. I think we made some very big moves that's going to set us up well for the season to come. Until next time, my friends, thank you very much for watching. I promise a Monday video will be coming out. Thank you all for your patience. But until next time, this has been Avguardian, and I bid you good day.